Peace. I am God from a place, Storm City, Bipper, Keith the Vandal, Marquise the name my mama gave me. And my bad friend, right? I get called judgmental. Um, I don't want to do certain things. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't go out to parties. I don't really go out to eat like that because I be trying to stack bread and I like to cook. My bad friend. If a friend tell me they having some issues with their weight, I'm gonna be the one to suggest a yoga class, maybe suggest some exercise classes, maybe suggest getting in the gym. Am I a bad friend? You know, I hear a lot about meeting people where they are, and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not looking at it like, oh, you less than. I'm looking at it as like you got capacity to be greater than what you are. You got capacity to be everything you asking to be. So like, how do we become that? And like, I don't just say it in words, like I literally do it through action. I teach yoga classes, right? So I always have an invitation for people that are in my life. Whether I'm teaching a class or I got a homie that's teaching a class, I teach yoga classes, right? I do stretch therapy. I've had people do stretch therapy on me. I've done it for others. I exercise daily. If I'm not exercising, I'm probably in a resting mode or I'm doing my meditation. I journal, right? I tell people to journal because it helped me. I speak about God because it helped me. I speak about the things that have helped me and benefited my life. I don't expect everything that I do to benefit the lives of others, but I definitely advocate for them, or I make space for those things in the lives of people I love. Am I a bad friend for that? Am I too pushy for that? Am I supposed to just let somebody that I know is sick not get some type of medicine? I'm sitting with that thought right now as I think about the words that were leveraged against me. Like, I'm judgmental. I think I'm better than people, all of these things. And I for sure thought I was better than I was. Like, it wasn't really about people. It was about one day I'm waking up in a mental hospital. One day I'm told I gotta take 4 pills a day. I gotta take 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And it's 4 pills twice a day. This is what I'm told. So I'm taking 8 pills in total. This is what I was told about myself. So after that, I was like, I gotta live different. One day during this experience, I was eating so much food a day that like my chest started to hurt. I started to have chest pain, right? So I was like, maybe I need to exercise. So I started walking, right? I'm really solutions oriented. I don't like people to sit in my space and let a problem be something that it isn't, right? I'm not fearful in that way. Like, if something presents itself as like, we can do something about it, I'm like, what can we do? Like, doctor tells me, you gotta start drinking more water. Bet, doc. Like, is there a specific type of water? Like, I'll be that type of dude. That's just me. So I try to be that for my friends. And I think it rubs people a weird way, right? I think I know it all, right? These are things I was told. That make me a bad friend? I don't actually think I know it all. I just know that if I'm presented with some information, it's time to research. It's time to hit that Google, hit up Google and find some websites to affirm this thing that is beneficial, right? I'm just that type of individual. And I'm that type of person everywhere I go, right? I don't turn it off. I like integrity, right? Does that make me a bad friend? That I'm big on integrity? That I'm the dude who shows up to the bar and don't want to drink? Like, I might order water at the bar. I might get a sparkling seltzer. I like water with the bubbles sometimes. That's me. Does that make me a bad friend for just being who I am? I don't know. And it hurt at times in my experience, being like made to feel like I'm pointing fingers at people when I'm just like, bro, I love you. Bro, I'm saying this out of love, dog. Like, you talking about like anatomy issues, like their anatomy, you know, that their sex organ isn't active. Their sex organs are inactive, and we only 28. Like, how you can't get up, bro? Like, Paul, like, I ain't even like, how you gonna do that to your lady? How you that unhealthy at 28? Like, I'm the friend that's like, yo, let's just go exercise, bro. Like, let's go lift some weights. Let's get the blood flowing naturally. Like, you gonna hit the gas station? You're like, you on Blue True at 28, dog? Like, where we at? Like, I'm 28. And I get called 16 sometimes. I'm like, yo, like, y'all, people are living so hard that I look that young at 28. I'm grateful for it, you know. I don't got no facial hair like that. But what I'm saying is, like, this is where we at. That make me a bad friend? I just been thinking about it. Like, I've said to myself often, I would rather be the one who said the thing that needed to be said than the one who kept their mouth closed and stayed in the presence of somebody they knew they could have helped. Right? And I've been that too. I've been the one who kept their mouth closed and just watched somebody like hurt themselves. That's why I go so hard. Because I've been a friend who was like, oh, it ain't that big a deal. And it was such a big deal. It's like, yo, we 15 and you blowing down packs of the loud. We 15. Like, you got blunt wraps. Like, you got a blunt every other day, and we 15. Like, our brains ain't even done grow. Like, we 15 and you smoking like this. That's the friend I was. Like, I'm gonna ask those questions. And at some point you recognize in your journey, or I'll say I recognize in my journey, some people just don't want it. Like, what they got going is what they asked for. It's everything they asked for and then some. You know, some people really just enjoy destructive life patterns. I don't honor death. I love life. Like, I was blessed to see some people who lived into their old age, and it was beautiful to see. My mother had this client, my mother's a hairstylist. She had this client who lived into her 80s. Like, I think she made it to 90. And she would just get in her car and come get her hair done. And this woman is walking with the cane, but she walking strong with the cane in her 90s. Come get her hair done and go to church on Sunday. She played the piano. Like, I've seen that in real life. I'm like, you don't get to that doing Blue Chews at 28. You don't get to that drinking Henny every Friday night. Like, you don't get to that living a lie, right? I said to myself, like, people that help me live a lie, they won't ever honor my truth. Like, if you help me live a lie, like if you benefit from the lie that I tell or the lie that I live, when it's finally time for me to live the truth, I can't look at you for support. And I'm saying that also to anybody out there that, like, you make us some life, you trying to overcome something and you want to bring some people with you, you gotta leave people. Like, because they can't support you. Because they only know how to support the lie. They only know how to support the thing where it's like, yo, it's just a little weed. It's just a little, like, it don't be this big a deal. It ain't that big a deal. But it's like, for some of us it is. For some of us, a little bit of a problem is a lot of a problem. Because the way we made. Some of us not built to play in the dirt. Some of us not built for it. And it's not to shame people that do it well or that do it and they live a long life doing it, but it's just knowing yourself. And I think it's hard to really affirm who you are in these spaces when it's people that just want to keep letting the lie be the life. I don't like all the lying. I don't like all the lies. I'm from a city where, like, a lot of people didn't make it out. A lot of people haven't been beyond the city limits. Some people don't go to DC and it's right down the street. Some people never been to New York. They only seen it in movies. They only seen it in drama series about dudes who sell crack. They only seen it on Power. They only seen it from a distance, and it's right up the street. You can get on the train and go to New York. You can get in your car and drive up to New York. Get you a nice little Airbnb. I mean, they don't actually do Airbnb in New York now. I think it was banned. Get you a nice little hotel. Take your kids up there. Look at the Hudson River. Go to a nice museum in New York. You know what I'm saying? You maybe go to Brooklyn. You know, have you a good time. Go to one of them big parks. New York got some big parks. You know, go touch the city. Go see the sights. Why would someone want to go homeless? You know what I'm saying? Either way. But honestly, it just be that thing of like seeing something for yourself. I mean, why would somebody want to go to a war-torn country thousands of miles away. Why would somebody want to go to a third world country? Because they've never been. And it's just that thing of being able to say like, oh, I've done that. And not even just to say it, but to know I've done it. Is those things that I keep coming back to, like a reference for something. Like I've gone to New York. I don't intend to live there. I like to visit, right? I think it's a very expensive city. And like you mentioned, it's homeless occupied, but it shouldn't even be that many homeless people when they got that many vacant skyscrapers. They got vacant buildings in New York that could very much house some of these individuals. And they've actually made it their mission to house people from other countries. And it's not to diminish anybody that's from another country that's coming and seeking refuge, but you couldn't make space for people that were already here, but you found a way to make space for refugees like that. And you're actually not doing that well. So these are the things that I just challenged, but I think just to go experience things. People haven't had experiences outside of what they've always known. And that's fine if you're like still giving yourself the opportunity of expanding your knowledge, still giving yourself like new experiences in the space we live in. But to expand my point, we got museums in my city. I got friends who've been, I got people I know of who've been to the bars and the lounges more than they've been to the museums. Not that, like, if you don't go to a museum, your life is whatever, but it's beautiful museums here. There are beautiful, like, sites. We got the harbor. At the right time of day is a beautiful thing to look at, you know? There's a lot of different entryways and different spots you can just stay at and look at. Like, oh, I can go to West Covington Park. I can go to the Canton Waterfront. I can go to like some part of South Baltimore. I can go to this new space that's across the street from West Covington Park. I can explore my city, right? Federal Hill, there's these different parks in this city that I'm from, Baltimore. You know, I can explore different things in this space, but like I said, I'm the friend who's gonna challenge, and I won't deny the ways I've been challenged, and I enjoy the ways I've been challenged because I had to sit into it. Like maybe I did say something that I shouldn't have said, but again, I don't want to hold on to something that I could have gave. Like if we talking about our traumas too long, I might recommend therapy. I might bring up therapy. I say this is what therapy did for me. This is how I worked through it. Because honestly, I don't have all the tools to give you even in this conversation. And you're also starting to trigger me with some of the things we talk about. So I don't want to sit into this. I don't want to have those secrets about you. Because eventually you're going to look at me crazy. It's like, he know too much about me. And I didn't really want to know nothing about you. But you got me playing therapist when I'm supposed to be the homie. Right? Or in relationships. Like the man and woman battles right now. In relationships, sometimes we expecting our partner to know every dark secret about us. And it's like, no, that'll actually have you wanting to hurt somebody. When they know all these things about you and you haven't fully processed these things that they now know about you. And me, I know a lot of people. So I can only imagine what like a mind that's twisted would think about all these people I know. Like, oh, so I've told them these things about me. They probably talking about these things about me with other people. And it's like, I do my best not to. I don't talk about things that people tell me, because that's not what you told me. You gave me your secrets for me to keep them. I will have conversations with professionals who also keep confidentiality about ways that these things can be approached, right? People deal with sexual assault trauma, right? That's something that I've heard of in friendships and in relationships with beautiful women. They're like, I was assaulted. I'm like, how you deal with that trauma, right? I don't want like the way you deal with it to end this conversation. Can you make space for other women after having the experience that you've had? Can you make safer spaces for other women so other women don't go through this? Can you have conversations that are vulnerable, where they feel seen, so that they don't feel the way you feel, right? How do we overcome is then my question. I don't want to be like, yeah, I went through, and I went through, and people be going through. I don't like that conversation. I'm good on that. I came up in Baltimore and it was hard, and my mother had to get food stamps, and like those are realities, right? We also had a lot of opportunity, and like my mother definitely had a lot of things she was making possible for me, and my father was there as well, right? But like if we just sit into trauma, like yeah, and one of my friends died of cancer, and like these things happen, right? And like and I just man, and my grandmother's house got took by Johns Hopkins. Like these things happen, right? People experience trauma. After you've experienced the trauma, what do you do about the trauma you've experienced? What do you do with it? It's like raw ingredients. Do I take these ingredients and go create destruction, mayhem, go be mad and resentful and bitter toward other people because of what I've gone through? Or do I do the work to figure out how to like cleanse myself of this? And maybe do something or create something productive that helps people avoid the situation or overcome it as they're going through it. I dealt with an immense grief last year. I'm still in the process of grieving. The way I deal with grief is by being there for other people. Right now, I got a uncle who's getting hip surgery soon. Is amazing to me as I'm like a yoga instructor, and I'm just thinking about like, damn, like, yeah, when you turn 70, your hip can definitely give out on you, and you're gonna have to get a surgery for that joint. And I'm showing up for him the best way I can, and he's looking out. It's amazing. It's a blessing. But it's in my head. It's like, how do you show up for other people? That's my thought. When I'm going through, one of the biggest ways for me to heal is through service. Like giving some positive messages to the youth. Like hearing my mother tell me that she's doing more stretches now because of the yoga practice that I've been doing for so long. My mother does stretches. My grandmother, she had a shoulder issue. We do some stretches when I see her. Like these little things, right? These little things that add up to a lot later on. That's the blessing. That's the friend I am. So does that make me a bad friend? Possibly. If somebody wants me to be a bad friend, if somebody wants me to not be enough, I guess that's what I become. But just that concept, right? That concept of taking a little bit and making it stretch. Like I became a yoga instructor because my mentor, she was dealing with breast cancer, and I was teaching in a school that she had been at for almost 10 years, and she was going through a yoga journey. She was learning the yoga practice. She was learning the ancient art, and she saw a desire within me to know more and to heal and to help people. So she said, I want you to go through this same practice. I want you to learn this same thing that I've learned. I was very skeptical. There's still things I have to learn about this thing that I've committed myself to, this thing that I've consistently done. But I moved through that fear. I moved through that ignorance, and I found a practice that has blessed my life and blessed the lives of others. Like that's the beauty and the journey for me. When I have the ability to experience something that's so powerful and so just magnificent in my own life that it benefits the lives of others. All right. So all of that to say, be yourself. And don't feel like you got to explain yourself, because it does get confusing. Talk to God first. Put God first in your journey, you know. And it may be something else you want to define that as. But put that power that's greater than your own first. Give thanks. I give thanks for anybody who watches this. I give thanks for anybody who stays in these lives and watches these podcasts and listens to these songs I create and purchases this merchandise. And you know, taps in with the author side of it. You know, I did a poetry book. I met God in the gutter. You know what I'm saying? I met God in the gutter. Marquise Carrington. You know, I appreciate you. I appreciate you all, because we're sharing this experience. Right? That's the bigger part that often goes overlooked. We're sharing this experience. We get to experience this together. We get to experience this together. And it's such a beautiful experience. Like, it's so vast. It's so vast. It's so it's so random. It's so much of everything. So I am grateful even to the people who considered me a bad friend, or considered me annoying, or made me feel like I wasn't enough. That's what I'm gonna talk about too. This thing of not being enough. Where does that start? I saw a brother post about it. He was like, what can it be better? You could have done better. That constant like what? But what did I do? What did you like about what I've done? And I had to challenge that within myself. Like, that's some healing that the inner child needs, or just people need in general. Like, that's a beautiful lesson to give to kids. Like, okay, this thing you've done is X, Y, Z is really dope. It's really nice. I like these. How do you feel about them? It's a better question than this is what I think of it, right? And then from how do you feel about it, we can get some more motion where it's like, okay, you feel like this. What would you add to it next time? Because you're going to do it again. It's really the big part, right? Like, when I first started making music, I wanted to show everybody. And I was just like so hyped. And I just wanted people to love like what I had that same energy that I had for it. And I showed a cousin who I was like working with at the time. And it was just this moment where I was like, yeah, like I'm really trying, and like I'm scared, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm recording on a USB mic, and I'm making these beats with like a real small MIDI keyboard, and I don't have music theory. And like, I'll find like a drum loop, or I get like a drum pattern, and it'll be redundant the whole time. Nothing switches, nothing's progressing. It's just these loops and these words I'm coming up with. I'm proud of my words, right? I'm saying things that mean something to me. But this person that I was like really looking to give me some insight said, yo, that shit was ass. With a straight face. It's like, yo, that shit was ass. Why, like, what the fuck was that? I was like, whoa, like damn, like no, that shit was ass. Like, you gotta do something. You gotta do something different. Like, you gotta have some different energy for this. You gotta be like 6'9". I had a person tell me I gotta be like Tekashi 6'9". I was like, cause he was hot at the time. And it was really, really painful. Like, I almost cried. But like, I sat into it, and it made me stronger. It made me more resilient. It made me recognize, like, some people really are lame. Some people don't understand this. And to this day, it's like, I don't really rock with you like that. But I had better understanding. I had way better understanding. Had way better understanding after that. So it was like, after that was the thing, I just let it be. And I kept doing what I was doing. But I gave that to myself. Like, when I do something, I sit with it like, okay, I don't like a lot of this, but what can I do the next time? What can I try next time? What chords can I play with next time? What progression can I try out? Does it have to be so complex? Can it be a simple progression? Maybe these drums weren't the drums I wanted to go for. Am I feeling it? What feeling am I going for? These new questions that make me go in another direction. It's the same thing with the podcast. It's the same way with these conversations I have on here. It's always this thing of like, the next time I do it, how can I approach it? And I think that's a better assessment for just giving people critique or talking to individuals. Is a big thing about judgment right now. People don't want to be judged. But truthfully, people just don't like the way individuals are talking to them about the things they do. Like, okay, I see why you did it this way. Or I don't see why you did it this way. Can you explain it? And I just want to listen. I don't even want to give you feedback on it yet. I just want to hear you out. I want to know why y'all wear ski masks to school. Okay, y'all wear ski masks because it helps you cover your head when you ain't got a haircut. All right, because you wear a do-rag. Okay. You like wearing a ski mask because everybody's wearing a ski mask. Okay, I get that. You like wearing a ski mask because you don't want somebody to know that you're on the bus stop. Okay, I receive that. But how do we get to a point where, like, you feel comfortable being seen when you're on the bus stop? That's always my thought. So yeah, long-winded. About to end it. One day made better, many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I think that's unfair. The joys we are given, the best must share. Visionaries never die, legends survive. Through the seeds we sow daily, we get better with time. I wish you peace, prosperity, and many blessings. We are built in private, we are blessed in public. Whether they like it or love it, the process is trusted. Stay beautiful. Peace.